New updates in the Ryan Ferguson case has the family hoping for some good news.
And that massive snowstorm rocks the Northeast. KOMU 8 News at 10 starts now.
From Studio 8A, coverage you can count on in high definition. This is KOMU 8 News at 10.
A powerful blizzard is ripping through the Northeast tonight. Good evening. I'm Elizabeth Hagedorn.
Let's send it to NBC's Jay Gray with the latest.
Good evening. The conditions continue to intensify here. The winds at times gusting to hurricane strength, and the worst is still to come. It is a massive winter storm, dropping a staggering amount of snow across the Northeast. In some areas, including Boston, accumulations could reach 3 feet or more. Mother Nature delivering a powerful punch to a region still recovering from Superstorm Sandy, which struck just over 3 months ago. Jay Gray, NBC News, Boston.
Well, we certainly had a gloomy and chilly day across mid-Missouri here on your Friday. And as you can see, that cloud cover is continuing to stick around with us here for your evening, well into your overnight hours. Let's check out temperatures right now. Still pretty chilly out there. For your tomorrow afternoon, we will have a little bit of warmer temperatures and a little bit more sunshine as well, with top temperatures at 52 degrees. I'll tell you more about that coming up in a little bit.
Tori, thank you very much. Ryan Ferguson, the 28-year-old Columbia man serving a 40-year prison sentence for murdering Columbia Tribune sports editor Kent Heitholt, has hope for a new trial. Ferguson is asking a state appeals court to overturn his denial for a new trial. We'll have the latest on that in a second, but first let's break down the history of this case.
In November of 2001, Kent Heitholt was robbed and murdered in the parking lot of the Columbia Daily Tribune. In 2004, police received a tip that placed Charles Erickson and Ryan Ferguson at the scene. Erickson pled guilty to the murder, claiming that Ferguson was the main instigator. In 2007 and 2008, Ferguson requested appeals, but they were denied. In 2009, Erickson changed his story, saying that he acted alone. Former Tribune janitor Jerry Trump also recanted his statement, saying that Ferguson was one of the 2 men he saw in the parking lot that night. In 2011, more requests for retrial denied, and in 2012, the Ferguson family launched their billboard campaign. The billboards feature a composite sketch of the man who Bill Ferguson, Ryan Ferguson's father, believes is the missing link in the case. Bill Ferguson told KOMU previously he believes the person in the sketch did not have any involvement in the murder, but could have witnessed something proving his son's innocence.
Ferguson's petition says Judge Green made several errors in the case and also was mistaken in his factual findings. KOMU 8's Sarah Duffy is live at the crime scene tonight. Sarah?
As of right now, the court has agreed to see the appeal, and the family expects to get the ball rolling in the springtime. So I asked Bill Ferguson what could be different with this new appeal.
Last week, Bill Ferguson filed a second appeal for his son Ryan's case, stating there is no evidence linking his son to the murder of Kent Heitholt. So far, the Ferguson's investigation team, led by defense attorney Kathleen Zellner, are in the process of interviewing 2 tippers who called in.
As you may remember, Dateline NBC has done a few stories on the Ferguson case, but Bill Ferguson told me today that now 48 Hours is doing a special that should air in March and will include some interviews that could help Ryan get his appeal approved. Reporting live from Columbia, Sarah Duffy, KOMU 8 News.
Kansas City police are asking for help finding a man believed to have killed 2 women and propping up their bodies near rural roads north of Kansas City. The body of 40-year-old Tamara Sparks was found in October of 2011 on the city's far northeast side, while 24-year-old Nicole Reed's body was found last August in rural Kearney. Police say a 3rd woman believed to have been attacked by the same man survived.
A 41-year-old Holt Summit woman was arrested in connection with a bank robbery in October of last year. Here are the mugshots for Terry Andrew Coleman and her husband, Gary Coleman, both responsible for robbing Bank One Star in New Bloomfield. The 2 were both taken to the Callaway County Jail. Gary was arrested in Texas and transported to the jail, where he is being held on a $30,000 bond. Terry was arrested on a Cole County probation violation warrant, but has been released on a $31,000 bond. The city of Columbia launched a new website today for the airport. This as the airport prepares for Delta service to end American flights to start next week. The city says the website was due for major enhancements. The upgrades include a new look, flight status information, and flight schedule. It's also mobile friendly for all you smartphone users. The city also switched to an in-house server instead of using a third-party vendor, which will save the city $600 a year. A fairly minor accident today during rush hour at Stadium Boulevard and Old Highway 63 blocked a right turn lane, causing a traffic jam. Police say a green Ford Ranger truck died while merging onto Stadium from Old 63. A red Ford Focus then tapped the truck's bumper. Cars turning right onto Stadium from Old 63 could pass the truck, but were forced to wait until the left-hand lane was free. The accident caused traffic to back up until Broadway. Officers and Tiger Towing arrived on the scene 45 minutes after receiving the 911 call. Both drivers left unharmed an hour after the crash. Downtown Columbia parking meters are getting a colorful makeover. Columbia Public Works is painting downtown parking meters a variety of colors, indicating the parking time limits. According to a parking task force official, the color-coded parking meters will be helpful for motorists trying to find the right spot.
It's a challenge for a lot of people who aren't really familiar with downtown Columbia to know exactly where the 4-hour meters, the 2-hour meters, the 10-hour meters, or the 24-minute meters are. We thought that by color coding the meters themselves, it would be easier for motorists to immediately recognize the meters by color.
Columbia Public Works says it plans to paint all downtown meters by August.
A St. Louis-based home health care provider has agreed to pay the state nearly $175,000. Attorney General Chris Koster says the settlement with the Infinity Home Care resolves the allegations it had billed Medicaid for services it did not actually provide to disabled and elderly patients. The AG's office says Infinity filed 47 false Medicaid claims over a 3-year period.
The food bank for Central and Northeast Missouri has an unusual problem and is asking for extra volunteers this week. The food bank's freezer is at full capacity and workers are having trouble finding room. The 8,000-square-foot freezer is stacked from floor to ceiling with donated food. Vendors donated more frozen food than usual and more is on its way. The food bank needs extra volunteers to help package the donated items.
A growing trend the past decade, find out where MU is investing millions of dollars.
And the details have finally been released for one of Columbia's annual festivals. Find out more after the break.